Right, so hi everyone, I'm Tinko and I'm going to explain how we can belay a climber up from the stand midway in a multi-pitch route. And for that we have three different options and I'll show each of them and explain why we might want to use each of the techniques. So I've just built a stand here, stand on rope, and I've belayed Sarah up and she's ready to start the next pitch. So the first technique is belaying over the stand with munter hitch. I use a safe binder, which I attach to one of my bolts. In this case, the right one, as the pitch is going to the right. And then I make a winter hitch. I attach it to the safe binder, which I close. And I'm already ready to give out rope and take in rope. And I'm ready to belay. So this is a very quick and easy technique. And why it's a good idea, it's very efficient. And it's very nice. I can belay someone up and without having to change anything, I'm immediately ready to give out rope again. So this is a very efficient option. Disadvantage is the winter hitch breaks, but it doesn't offer as much friction as using a belay device. So I have to be a little bit more active myself and belay very well. All right, shall we give a little example? So you're ready to go?
Ready?
We do a check. So Sarah, do you agree with it?
Yes.
All right, let's go. And Sarah starts climbing, and I can simply feed out the rope. Like this. All right, beautiful. All right, excellent. So the second video, or the second method of belaying, is using a tuber and belaying over the stand. And for that, I grab my tuber and I start tying in as normal. So the rope going to Sarah goes into the tuber, and I clip it in. But now I attach the safe beaner to the stand. And of course I close it. And this is essentially now already ready to start belaying. Because if later on in the route the rope goes up and Sarah falls, I can just break it, and this system is now ready to catch a fall. The only thing we need to be aware of is before Sarah has clipped in the first bolt and she were to fall, she would go down. And in this case, there is no friction on the rope yet. So that means they have to do something and add a dummy runner to make sure the belaying in the beginning is also safe. For that, I grab an extra screw grade carabiner and add this behind my safe beaner, and I clip the belay rope into that. And of course, a screw is closed. And now, what you can see is if Sarah were to fall down this way, it is breaking, and I can use the brake side of the rope to catch her fall. So now we are essentially ready to go. Yeah, and of course, before we go, we should do a quick check. Are you happy with it?
Yes.
All right, then you can unclip and go.
Perfect.
And now I can give out rope in this way until Sarah has reached the stand or the next clip. Importantly, I have to keep this dummy runner in until at least 2 quick draws are clipped, so that system also stays redundant. But after that, I could take out this dummy runner and belay normally through the tuber. So why would I use this technique? This is a very nice technique because it offers a little bit more friction than a munter hitch. So that means I can belay nicely with the tuber and I don't have to put too much effort into catching the falls and holding on, or especially if it were to be a harder route, blocking is easier with this technique. A disadvantage is that in the beginning, giving out rope through a dummy runner can be a little bit more demanding than through the munter hitch, and it can be a little bit slower. But mostly they can both be used in the same situations. Okay, so then the third technique is quite different from the other two, because here we're going to belay over the body instead of over the stand. So what I do, first I prepare myself, I grab a tuber, and I tie in completely as normal on the ground. So I attach myself, and I'm ready to go. And here we have the same idea as before. This already works if Sarah is up the root and goes up higher and she falls and the rope gets pulled upwards. But here we have the same issue. If she were to fall now, she falls downwards, and there is, of course, then there is no friction down here. So again, we need to add the dummy runner. In this case, the dummy runner goes into the stand, and it's just a safe beaner or a carabiner that I can close with the screw gate. Sometimes, when the situation is possible, I can also clip into the first bolt of the next root if it's reachable from the stand. Now I'm ready to belay, and if Sarah were to fall, it is blocking upwards and works nicely. However, we're of course trying to use, in the body belay we can try to belay dynamically. And it also means I can get pulled upwards or forwards when Sarah makes a fall. And what is really nice is to extend your lifeline a little bit to make sure that if I have to catch a fall, I'm not pulled into my stand too much. So in this case, I'm going to lengthen my lifeline a little bit. And this is a nice example of the benefit of a stand-on rope. So it's very easy to lengthen my stand. And I gently go down, which is very well possible here. And now you can see I have a nice lifeline of 2 meters, so if I were to be pulled up during the belay, there's plenty of space for me to go up. All right, so we're ready to go. Sarah, are you agreeing with the stand and the belay situation?
Yeah.
All right, then you can go.
Thank you.
And as you can see, I can now belay essentially like I'm used to on the ground in a single pitch situation. It is very easy for me to give out rope, and I can also make it nice and dynamic. And this is also the biggest advantage of using this technique. It is a very natural way of belaying, and I can very easily make sure it is dynamic, and I can give out rope and take in rope very easily. I also have in this case a little bit of space to move up, so I can make it the falls, I can catch them very dynamically. Some things to be aware of though. This means that I am now part of the belay chain, so I cannot escape as easily, and I can also be moved a little bit more. So for example, if there is a roof directly over my head, this makes no sense because I will be pulled up into the roof, and that's not very convenient. Also, here is a very nice stand with a little ledge where I can go down, so I can easily extend my lifeline. Sometimes that's not really possible. And if I cannot extend my lifeline, this is not such a great technique to use. In general, this is a nice technique for belaying, and it gives us now 3 different ways of belaying a leader on the lead route, and I can mix and match and decide for each different standard situation what is the best. And that is really where the fun comes in. Try to figure out the best and the nicest way to give your leader a nice belay on your next multi-pitch. So belaying, I can simply give out the rope. And you see, this can go a bit rough in the beginning.